Hi, as I promised you in last video that I will tell you 5 mutual funds you can start investing with if you're just beginning with your investment as NRIs. So if you don't want to break into what is going on, which sector is working, which is not working, and you just simply want to start some investment, then you can choose any one of them or all of them in some or other combination you like. So depending on the money, you can choose all, or you can choose one, or you can choose whatever way. Now another thing I want to tell you, already Indian stock market is, I'm not saying it's going to be peak, but it is really in hot situation. So don't put a lot of money as one time investment. Better go as an SIP as of now. And whenever market dips, you can put some one time investment. That will be the best strategy for today, which I'm doing. So let's begin with those 5 best investment which you can use as an NRI in 2024. So I'm going to tell you the names. I will not get into the data, a lot of data and analysis, because that you can search yourself, but I have searched for my personal use. So I've seen their returns, I have seen their you can say performance for at least 3 years. So let me just brief you what is the criteria generally I see 3 criteria in all mutual fund. First is return, second is risk, and third is expenses. So for the return part, I generally see 3 years of minimum returns, because 1 year anybody can do magic, right? But 3 years is relatively good, and we should not be going for 5 or 10 years, because then becomes a very legacy problem. Second is risk, what kind of stocks they're investing. So generally we see Sharpe ratio and all these things. So we see generally what is their stock allotment, how much they're investing in big companies, how much they're investing in small cap or mid cap. So that I see. And third, I basically see that how much they're charging. See, generally those funds who perform well, they have a big portfolio and they don't have to charge a lot of money. And understand, this expense ratio is on your investment, not on your return. So despite the fact whether mutual fund is making money from you or not, they're going to charge you. So suppose if you invest say 1 lakh rupees, 1000 minimum they are going to charge. So it is lesser is the better. In stock market only, this is a very true word, that the costly is not always better. Most of the time the costly is a scam. So you can get very good returns in less expenses. So always, and most of the prudent mutual funds, they keep that cost under control, and if they are not keeping, I think they are being greedy. So on that basis, I'm going to tell you 5 mutual funds. Just write down the name. If you want to do further research, there is the internet available. You can do research on value research online. Other websites are also there. You can get all those data, check it yourself. And yes, I am not a registered investment advisor, so I am not giving you any investment advice. Please consult with your investment advisor or a person who is advising you before making any real investment. So let's begin. So the first stock, if I'm going to talk about, is Nippon India Large Cap. Yes, it's a large cap. So basically they invest in blue chip companies, and now I think it's better to stick with large cap and mid cap. Small cap has been very volatile, so just avoid that. So first investment you can make it Nippon India Large Cap. Second stock you can consider is a mix of large and mid cap, right? So you know the large cap is stable, and mid cap generally gives you a little bit punch on your return, on your investment. So it gives you slightly better returns. So if I say it's HDFC large and mid cap, this is the second mutual fund you can consider about to start with as an SIP. Third, you can consider about if you are want a mix of that, okay, then go with multi-cap. So multi-cap has a flexibility of invest in small cap, mid cap and large cap, but what is the good about them, when they see there is a risk, they can shift their money to large cap also. So the good fund here is to consider again in Nippon India multi-cap. So this you can consider as a third mutual fund which I'm going to tell you. Another, if I am generally I like about contra fund. So contra fund have a thinking like they think in a different way than the whole market consider, and they deliver the return also. So I will like to say SBI contra fund that you should consider. They have a really good return in last 3 year, approximately 39.53% for last 3 years on an average. It's fabulous return. If you're basically you want to stick with the index fund, because index fund are also really good nowadays coming, so you can think about Motilal Oswal Nifty mid cap 150 index. So they invest in mid cap, but they are basically a sectoral, so they generally focus on those mid cap companies which are going to make a comeback on that. There are other funds also, but I would just want to focus on these 5 funds which somewhere I have invested. Another fund, just extra fund bonus I want to give you, which really I like, it's about the PSU, like public sector units or public sector banks, and they invest in best public sector companies. So this fund's name is ICICI Pru Bharat 22 Fund of Fund. So this is basically not a one mutual fund, they invest in other mutual funds. So this is a fund of funds you can consider if you have extra money. And if you say last 3 years, they have given almost 41.87% return. Now understand that you can't expect this kind of return every year. This was a bumper year for India, but you can understand if they are maintaining that for 3 years, maybe 22-25% they can give maybe in upcoming years also. But anything better than 15 to 20% in a long term is always a very good return, and this is the only way you can become rich using the mutual funds. So that's all in this video, friends. I have already given 5 mutual funds. You go do your research and invest. And if you have any other queries on mutual funds, how you can invest, and what are other things in operations, any questions, please put that as a comment on the comment section, and either me or my team will come back and reply on that. And please also give your feedback. What kind of other videos you want me to make on investments, especially for NRIs, and I've definitely come back with those topics. That's all in this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.